30 years after the war in 1977, Aylesbury Estate was completed. And why was it completed?
Well, you got to remember, after the war, there was like loads of areas of London which were bombed out, and people needed homes, like cheap homes. So the council just built these huge estates, because the estate, like when you think of the estate, you think of like the block these days, but back then it was like a utopian idea. They thought that it would be like the new way of living. So it was cheap, it covered a large area with loads of homes, and it just allowed loads of people to get their housing and just house people after the war, literally. I mean,
it really looks like prison blocks, like how it's all narrow in, you know, everyone's doors, you know what I'm saying, windows here, like, you know, those American ones, and like in New York, you got those prisons in New York, it's high up, but you got these windows where you can look out.
Do you know what, the architecture of this is streets of the sky, streets in the sky architecture. So they wanted to create almost like, recreate the houses that were here before. So you would have had terraced houses where, if you think about it, it's a normal street, so people interact on the street and there's a community sense. The flats are built this way, so like it looks like a little bit of a street. You might bump into your neighbours walking down to the left, but obviously it didn't really go to plan. And what ended up happening was these long, there was no surveillance here, so these long, unwatched areas just became a hotbed for crime. And it meant that being raised up from the street level, people could be getting up to all sorts and they wouldn't really be found out.
Yeah. So basically, it's like, for example, when you're watching the movie Demolition Man, and you got the underworld. Yeah. You got the underworld, and they're doing anything in there. They're selling whatever drugs. They had rat burger and everything. So you don't know what the hell was going on in blocks like this. So they had to separate it, right?
Yeah, of course. And think about it. Think about if you're police, bro. Like, how are you actually going to stop crime in here? Because all the blocks are connected, and there's no security doors. You could be on any level. You could run from one end to the block, and then you could go all the way down, run into another one. It's almost impossible to stop it, and there's no CCTV camera.
No, like normally in blocks like this, you see like CCTV in the corners, looking down, and then I don't see none in this block.
What the fuck? Should we do it? What the fuck? What is
this? This is mad.
Good
random tagging boy. Joanna dead.
So, a little fun story. I was here about a year ago, just taking pictures with my boy, and my boy doesn't like lifts. So we came up in the lift and it was screeching and cracking and halting and whatnot. We got to the top, taking pictures, and when we came down, my boy said, I do not want to take the lift. So I was like, say nothing, go down the stairs. This staircase here, we get about 2 flights down, we're walking down, and we hear the door slam behind us, and we just hear someone like running down the stairs. I just looked at him, he looked back at me, and we just ran down like 10 flights of stairs, but we ran straight out of the estate, and that was it, all the way back to Elephant and Castle.
Scary movies.
Trust me, bro. I would have been here way more taking pictures if it wasn't for that. So I've got to come here 3 man up at least, bro.